This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 303. We're continuing our watch through of the Planet of the Apes. Now, we're to the final film. Okay, we're to War for the Planet of the Apes from 2017. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, introduce our special guest for this
Yes,
week.
we have a special guest, our last new guest. So we've been going through guests the last few months, and this guy, he is one of our OGs. He got a little wrench in our live shows, a patron, a friend. We have Mr. Robert Makes, if you're on YouTube, he's Robert Makes the Cut, but he's going to give you his Instagram and all that. Robert, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me again.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Let's get into some financials for War for the Planet of the Apes, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. So the budget was $150 million, right?
Good.
We're looking at a worldwide total of $490 million. What you think?
Still good. I mean, let's go with our double 153. So it's still made, even if you go double and a half, it's still made over 100. It was profitable, is the point.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're making a new one. So it's not like the franchise was a disappointment. This didn't make as much as the last movie, if I remember correctly, but it still did well.
Yeah. Rob?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it made a little bit more, but yeah. This is, a solid, trilogy, and we'll hope to see, Kingdoms coming out, so hope to see more of it.
Yeah, this was, so the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes made $710 million.
That's right, yeah.
So this was $300 million less. Now, I remember coming out of this theater, a lot of people was disappointed, but we'll talk a little bit about that in the review part on why. Or not that why, but I'll talk a little bit about it when we do a little synopsis.
Maybe you were one of them. Maybe Rob was one of them. Maybe I was. Maybe none of us were. We'll see.
Well, we'll see on that. But all right, Nate, what did the critics and the audience have to say about this film?
So, wrapping it up, I got to compare it to I only compare it to the film that preceded it. So, War for the Planet of the Apes, critically, is sitting at a 94%, which is 3% higher than Dawn, and it is the highest of the franchise as far as critics, 94%. Now, audience score actually went down, but only 4%. This has an 84%. So, previous was an 88, this one's an 84, previous was a 91, this one's a 94. So, critics went up a little bit, audiences went down, but they're still both very high scores.
Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I agree with that. I felt Dawn, I liked it a little bit more, but the thing is, I think the title is very misleading. That's what I think.
Why do you think so?
When you mention War of the Planet of the Apes, you're expecting like wall-to-wall action, when you get from that title, it's, and we'll talk about it in a little bit too. But
I wonder if that affected the audiences that you're talking about, Alex.
I think they were expecting maybe a little bit more, action-driven film rather than a, more character-driven film, I bet.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to our first when we to the theater. So, Nate, what was your initial reaction when you first saw this in 2017?
Loved it. I reviewed this on my old podcast, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it when I walked out of the theater. This was actually one of the first movies I saw in Dolby Cinema at the time, 2017. So we had just gotten a Dolby theater here, and I saw this, and I absolutely loved it. And this was my first time watching it since the theater. So I never had a rewatch until today.
All right, Rob.
Oh yeah, I loved it too. I believe I saw it at a Regal / Edwards, and their RPX, their version of IMAX. I loved it too, the effects and everything.
Yeah, when I saw this in 2017, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good, but I remember coming out of my theater and people was bitching. They were like, "Wait a minute, this is called War for the Apes, and they didn't have no more wars, more yapping of the apes." So I was like, "Okay, I can see where the balance of where people were." Because remember, Dawn was mad action packed. I mean, that damn thing should have been War for the Planet of the Apes when you really think about it. But going into this final installment, I mean, and Rob said it, if you're going in with that damn war in the beginning of the thing, people really thought it was going to be all out apes versus humans and all that. But we're going to talk about it because we rewatched it. We all did. And see if it still holds up for us. That's the main question. Does it still have that magic of us sitting in that theater going, wow, this thing is awesome? So with that said, let's start it off with the lead character. Rob, you're going to start it all off with my man Caesar back at the helm.
Caesar was awesome as usual. I give him a 5+. He was, his arc. We go with him on this journey, leading the apes, and the surviving fractions of him, and the CGI, of course, and the performance, mocap performance from Andy Serkis is incredible as always. And they should have a category for Oscar for mocap performance, I believe. That's all I felt about it.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, 5. This has to be one of the best as far as trilogies go. If you're just looking at a lead character and a story arc, this got to be one of the best. Definitely one of the best we've done here on this podcast. I haven't seen every trilogy ever made. But of the ones I have seen, from what Caesar started as to what he ultimately ends as in this movie, got to be one of the best character arcs. And I love this movie because even though he is still the leader and he shows, I love the Koba stuff where he's like imagining him and he's seeing himself. He sees, himself in Koba and what he was, and he just can't, the vengeance. He has to get vengeance. He has to get revenge, and he can't not do it. And it's a flaw. It ends up being a flaw in multiple times throughout the movie. You know what I mean? So I think, he's not a human, but he may as well be. He's as well written and well crafted as any human character in another movie. So I still give him a 5. I think he's incredible in this. Again.
Yeah, I agree. You're absolutely right. This has to be one of the best character arcs. You have to, because his ambition towards the end kind of gave him the the downfall of him getting killed, pretty much. Because if he just followed his intuition that he normally does and became the Caesar that everyone loved, he would have been fine. He would have saved the apes. They could have went their own way. But he was just such a hatred for, they killed his wife and his son. So, any man was going to go after the dude regardless. But again, he knew he had another son that he's going to be leaving behind, right? Cornelius, which I screwed up because I thought the second movie was Cornelius.
No, that was Blue
I don't
Eyes.
know his name.
Blue
was
Eyes.
Blue Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Blue Eyes.
Yeah, see, I was so thrown off. And then Cornelius got pretty older. And then he was like, come here, Cornelius. I was like, oh, damn, my bad. I was like, wrong
Cornelius is
ape.
the baby.
Yeah. So I think you're right. It had to be the best arc. And I think every ape in this movie was so. I even like Bad Ape.
I
My
love
boy
him.
Bad Ape. Oh, he is
I
so
love
cute.
him. He's great.
Oh, he was so cute. I thought he was like, this dude was so awesome. I liked it when they found him. And his name was Bad Ape. That's why I started laughing.
Steve Zahn is the one who does the voice.
He's funny.
He's great.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
No. When he
Yeah,
gets
no,
like
no.
scared.
He's like, those people are small.
Yeah.
And then they all looked at him,
Binoculars, yeah.
and then he put it back, and he went, oh.
And he's wearing a vest. He's wearing a vest the whole movie.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that character. I think he's great.
Yeah.
And Rocket's a gangster in this one.
Yeah, Rocket is really good.
Yeah, Maurice.
Oh,
You're right.
yeah.
All the ape characters are, even the ones who get a little bit of time, they're all fleshed out like regular humans.
And I like, and you know what? It's great. I'm gonna say it here because I normally don't do it in action movies. Well, certain, but I never say it here. But I got really emotional when he talked to Maurice for the final time because Maurice started to cry.
yeah.
He literally gave a sentence for the first time you see him talk to Caesar, and you even see Caesar get emotional because he was like, he never talked to me like he normally does his sign language. And I was just like, damn, this is really heartful. Like he knew he was gonna die, and he just said it. And I was like, man, it's a really cool send off.
Yes.
For a main character. Like normally they do this whole heroic thing and whatever, but he literally is sitting on top of the hill looking over the apes. His son is happy jumping around with the girl, and then he just collapsed and dies with his best friend, rubbing his fur. Like, take it easy, my friend. But yeah, I gave it a 5. I think it is great. All right, main villain, which is played by Woody Harrelson, called the Colonel. Nate, go ahead, start it off. What do you think?
So first of all, I love Woody Harrelson in like movies in general and show anything Woody Harrelson's in. I usually like Woody Harrelson. So the performance is good. I ended up on a 4, and I would have given him a 5. But here's what happened. I don't love his ending of his character. In a way I like it, but in a way I don't. So ultimately, he's this colonel. The dude is ruthless. He hates the apes, and he has a reason. This is why these movies are so good, because they're so well written. Because even the villains, Koba, him, they really have a reason for why they don't like the other. Right, Koba hates humans for a lot of good reasons. This guy hates apes because, one, they spread this virus around, killed everybody. Sure, humans started it, but in his mind, the apes did it. Then they're passing along this virus that's now making humans revert back to like being more can't talk, more primitive, basically. Happens to his son. He has to kill his own son, and now he hates them. So I get it. I'm right there. I'm like, all right, bro, I get it. Like, I don't agree with you, but I get it. So his whole why I'm cool with. He's also ruthless. He be whipping people or having other people whip them. He shoots them right in the one he shoots right next to Caesar. After he gets whipped, he shoots him right in the head. Like, ruthless. He gets the virus where he can't talk, and he's like, and he's drunk or whatever, and then he just shoots himself, and that's it. And there's still like 20 minutes of movie after that. Yeah. So I didn't love that. You know, I knew even the first time I saw it, I knew Caesar wasn't gonna do it because he's such a great character, and at the end of the day, he's gonna be like, you know what, I'm just not gonna kill you, even though I could. But I still don't. I wish he went out in a different way. Maybe another rocket comes in there and is like, oh, you can't shoot him. Well, I'll shoot him for you, boss. Don't worry about it, or something other than that. So I still gave him a 4, though. I do think he's a great villain. Does murder Caesar's wife. I'm close to a 5. It's like a 4.5. You know what? I'm a 4.5 because I just like that little bit at the end I didn't like.
All right, Rob.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson as a colonel, it's a 5 for me. He was ruthless, but still, you could still relate why he's doing what he's doing, and you can relate to why Caesar has hatred and the colonel has hatred toward the apes, and Woody takes no prisoners in this one. So, and also, I could relate to what Nate was saying. Like, he kind of died like in a whimper. I thought he was going to go fighting a little bit. That was a little, but it didn't throw me off. But so that's why I'm going to give him a 5. Woody's performance was just awesome, and that's what you need in a movie like this. Like, you need the villain to go head to head with your lead, and he accomplished that right here in this movie.
So it's funny, I was torn with that too. Like, when I saw that ending, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This guy did through all this, and he goes out with this. And I was like, you know what? I was going with the 4, but then I was like, if you look at it as a whole, he took out his own life, whatever. It is what it is. But he checked off for me what a villain is. He killed my man's wife and son. He freaking, first of all, he demolished the apes' land. I mean, their hometown. Like, he destroyed that whole thing. Then he has them doing rocks and building walls. Like, and then he's just like such an asshole. Like, and I mean, rightfully so. So it is what it is. But Woody Harrelson played it so well. And you're like, I can't knock him for that. I mean, again, we're not doing it as a performance as an actor, but the character himself was just like, one thing that, I mean, you did say it, Nate, but one thing the Planet of the Apes did very well, which is kind of so rare in a franchise. Each movie had one of the best villains. It gets better and better. Yeah. Like, Koba was like one of the most biggest assholes that turned on his own people, and then goes to like Woody Harrelson to end off the entire franchise. So with that, I had to give it a 5. I was like, this is a 5. Now, in terms of him not talking, I was a little torn because I was like, wait a minute. It wasn't the apes that gave it to him. And then when I had to rewind it because I was like, how the freak? And then I noticed the girl had the virus that transmitted. So technically, the virus that are in humans are becoming way more advanced, and it's starting to spread newer viruses. Not the apes. The apes are in the woods. So like, why would that even bother them? So I kind of see it from his way, and I was like, wow. But I liked it though. I thought it was great. I loved it. So, and I loved where the humans got hit with the avalanche. I thought that was so cool. Yeah.
Avalanche.
I loved it. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. So that's 5 for me, 5 for Rob, 4.5 for Nate. Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's go to action scenes, Rob.
Well, this movie, like we were saying earlier, like, the title says war, the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to judge it by the quality of the scenes than quantity for me. So I'm going to give it the 5 because especially the finale, I think everything just builds up to the finale. That's what they're trying. We get some sprinkles in the beginning of the film, of the movie, movie, and everything it's kind of like a roller coaster ride. You're gonna save the best for last, and I think that's what they did here. And the finale was just like everything. You got a lot going on. You got like you got rifles going off. You got helicopters, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and the armies and all that going at it. So I give it a 5. Very well done.
Nice, neat.
Well, I will defend the movie in one aspect. I think the title still works. This is just, it is still a war film. If you ever see the movie like The Great Escape, that's a war movie too. But mostly it's about being a prisoner. Essentially, they're in like a war prison during the war, right? Like the ones that get captured. But it is wartime. You have these two sides that are warring now. So it definitely follows the tropes of other war films. Okay. Is there constant action? No. I actually love the beginning action scene where they're crumbing through the forest and they shoot the crossbow and then they shoot the rocket launcher into the thing and then the apes come with the smoke things. Like, I think that scene, and even Matt Reeves, again, by the way, we got to talk about his direction. Fantastic. Right. And he has this overhead shot where it's kind of coming slow and you see the soldiers moving up and then it keeps going and it gets to where the apes are. Great camera work. Love it. And then you get nothing for a while. Then you get the green laser scene, which, green lasers always look sick in movies. I don't even care. They're walking around. It is short, but there's a little bit of, I do like the part though where it's dark and then the gun is going off and that you could see the ape killing the dude. That's sick, but it's like 30 seconds long. And then you get the finale. I gave it a 4. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff, but the thing is the movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes and it has less action than the last movie. Now, is it as well executed? Yes. Although I still like I think part 2 has the best action scene in the whole franchise with that apes on the horses and the fire and the tank and all. I think that's the best single action scene. The finale, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Alex, I'll just go out on a limb here. It felt a little rushed. It felt a little short to me. The army shows up. They're shooting at each other. The apes go across. They start shooting at them. Caesar tries to blow it up. Eventually does. And that's pretty much, and then there's an avalanche. It's not an extended big action scene. So to Rob's point, yes, it is very well executed. But for me, it wasn't enough for the 5 like the last movie, but it's still a 4. I did think it was great.
Yeah, all right. So I was so torn with this at the end of the movie.
This one was tough to review.
This was weird because it was 2 hours and 10, and I thought it had the amount of action that you need to tell this story.
Yes.
But I was just like, when you put the damn name war, I'm expecting freaking war. And I'm not deducting it because of that, but my thing is that the story, I felt like it needed I agree with you, Nate. I felt like that ending needed to be a little bit stretched out a bit. See, I remember Caesar stretching out that whole him throwing the grenade thing, and that shit went super fast. I was like, oh my God, like the other ape threw the rocket and it all blew up. And I was just like, really? I thought this shit was longer in the theater. But I was just like, hey, look, it is what it is. I enjoyed it for what it was. I agree. The beginning sequences were good. I love the scene that they infiltrate with the waterfall, and then he grabs the rope and then he's trying to talk to all of them. I thought that was pretty cool. Again, to me, the most iconic scene of this film is when him and Woody Harrelson see each other and he sees his kids. They both look at the kids and stuff, and he's like, oh shit, I killed the wrong dude. Mm-hmm. And Caesar's doing the rolls and all this, and then he runs, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. I liked it. I was like, you know what? I was like, this is to me the most iconic scene of the film. Like, this is you say war for the planet of the year, that's the scene that is popping into my head. Like, my man went, oh hell, I'm gonna beat your ass. And that's when the hatred happened. The ending did feel kind of rushed. It kind of lame that he didn't get to kill him, but I think he would have killed him. My personal belief is he would have killed him. Like, if he talked,
the monkey flu.
Yeah, if he didn't have the monkey flu, because he would have said something sarcastic for Caesar to shoot him. Yeah. Like, straight up shoot him right in the face. And he would have did it for his son. Like, he would have said something about it, the colonel's son. Like, you know what? Like, you even shot your own son. Like, you're an ass. But let's get to Matt Reeves for a second here. Okay. When I saw the monkey shoot in the dark, I was like, my man was inspired to do Batman. Because that scene when Batman going in the hallway and he's just holding the machine guns and everything's going off, and I was like, oh my God.
It's a precursor to Batman.
Yeah, I think that's his like signature like Matt Reeves thing. Like, in the dark, the guns muzzles are flashing off. But I'm beginning, he might be up there with my man Zack Snyder as my favorite directors, because he is such a great world creator. He knows how to guide his his actors, like how to get the emotion. Because man, even the damn apes, I felt so bad for them. And in the action sequence with the avalanche, you felt it. I don't know. I just felt like he built everything up in these action sequences that work so well, and that's really hard to do in the third movie to elevate the action to where it is now. So I gave it a 4. Rob gave it a 5. Nate gave it a 4. Storyline, take it away, Nate.
Okay, 5. One thing you mentioned there when you were going on the action that I agree with, there's enough action for this storyline, but we're scoring as an action podcast, we kind of parse it out. Individually, how good is it? I don't think this movie needs more action because I was invested in the entire storyline. And all the character stuff is great. The journey of the little group, I love the little band of the 4 of them together, Rocket and him and Maurice and the gorilla, what's his name? Luca, which is my nephew's name, by the way. So I didn't even know that gorilla was named Luca.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love them. The one of them being like, well, I'm going with you and I'm going with you too. And he's like, I got to make sure you come back alive. And I'm a sucker for these movies where that happens, where the guy's going to go off on his own and his real ones go with him. Love it. I like the little girl. I like the storyline with the girl. I really I thought when it was going, I was like, am I going to be annoyed with this? But honestly, I was not. I was not annoyed with it. She found a place where she fit in, and it was with the apes and not the humans. They would have killed her. You know what I mean? Her own people would have killed her. So I enjoyed that. I like the whole prison camp thing, the escape. I love a good escape. We just did Heist Month. Another kind of movie I like is something like this, like Escape Plan. Escape Plan, like where people are stuck somewhere and they got to figure a way out. Shawshank Redemption, stuff like that. I love an escape film. So I just think this had all the elements story-wise. And yeah, I think it was just the dialogue is good. They have a lot of, even the sign, like everything they say is good. Performance is great. Storyline, I gave it a 5. I have no problems with it.
All right, Rob.
Yeah, I give it a 5 as well. The story just involves you and you care about everybody and it basically, this is like the Great Escape with apes. That's what that's what it is. Yeah, maybe that's what it should have been called.
Or the Great Escape with a capital A.
Oh my God, it's so corny. You know what? I could see that as the poster.
And the way Caesar's arc is, we just and the little girl too. It just hits everything. It checks all the boxes for me. It's not only a stirring action movie, also like an emotional one. It packs the punch too, especially at when they're at that prison labor camp that Woody Harrelson is leading and all that, and also the callbacks to the original, like the little girl's named Nora. That was from the first movie, the brunette that Charlton Heston was with, and also that scene when they're on the beach kind of reminds you of the first original movie too. So I give it a 5.
Yeah, storyline is a 5 for me. I think this is a well put together story. 1. 2, it filled the holes. Like there was no plot holes at all. Like these dudes really was like, this is the final movie. We're going to close out as much as we could. Woody Harrelson gave you so much information about the human side that it wasn't funny. When he was sitting down talking to Caesar, I'm like, this is how you fill up the holes that you thought 1 and 2 had. My man was just laying it all out for everybody. Like, listen to me, you moviegoers, because we're going to fill this out for the last time for you guys. I loved it. I love the girls. I love the fact that I love the little girl thing because it felt very like the first film, like how James Franco took Caesar in and he had to train that up. And I felt like that was like that little arc there. Like they had to train her up as that. And then of course, how moronic it is, right? Where Caesar lets go of one of the guys as a peace treating is the guy that kills him. He shoots him with the arrow. So like for me, that's like, I love that whole destiny thing. Like, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And that's what one of them said, I think told him, like, why are you going to let them go? Like, you should just kill them. Right. So I like that. And again, I was emotional. I was very emotional. My eyes were watery throughout the movie. Towards the end, I thought it worked very well. And I got to say, it's as a franchise, this is such a rewatchable storyline. Like, you don't have to watch it next year. You don't have to watch it. If you could see it 10 years from now, you're going to feel exactly how you felt when you first time saw it, when we rewatched it for the action movie guys, and then when you see it 10 years later after that. So for me, that's a plus. And when you could when you could capture a story like that you could bring out a lot of emotions, I agree. So I give it a 5 on that. Okay, overall, Rob.
overall 5+ for me. This checks all the boxes. You can't take your eyes off the CGI, and I kind of compare it to Avatar, but this is so relatable. Like, you really care about you see part of us in these apes, and Avatar is also flawless too in the CGI, but here's something when you have this story arc with Caesar, what happens to his son, his wife, and going against Woody Harrelson's crew and all that. It just brings it home, and it's really rewatchable and relatable as well. So a 5.
All right, Nate.
Yeah, I wanted to mention one point that I forgot to mention that bugged me with the Caesar, because you brought it up. So I think, and this probably would have, this might have upped my villain score to a 5 because Woody Harrelson would have went out differently. I would have preferred, and this is one of the reasons, I would have preferred Caesar to shoot him, and then because he did, he ends up getting shot with the arrow type of thing. You know what I mean? The fact that he showed him mercy and then still goes out that way, I get it, but I don't love it as much. Whereas it's more of a message in that way of like, well, look, you could get your revenge, but it might have this consequence of then he gets shot with the arrow. So I think that would have hit a little different for me, at least. Other than that, guess what? 5. I think this movie is fantastic. The performances are great. Again, everything Rob said. The CGI is amazing. This movie's 6 years old. Even Dawn looked great, but somehow this one looks even better. I mean, it's a couple years later. It's the eyes. I think it's the eyes of the apes. They really, they don't have that like uncanny valley where they look like they're just looking into space. Like they look human, and the facial expressions are amazing. Right. Alex, something you said about the storyline, I 1,000,000% agree. These are so rewatchable. I don't rewatch movies too frequently, but in 2 or 3 years, if I wanted to watch this, or if I had a friend who's like, I've never seen those, I'm like, oh, strap in, get ready, because I think this is probably one of the best trilogies, and I know there's a 4th one coming out, so it won't really be a trilogy technically anymore, but as of the 2nd, it's got to be one of the best trilogies, period. First movie's very good. 2 and 3 are amazing, in my opinion. Like 5 out of 5. So I gave this one a 5. I think it's a fantastic finale and to a great trilogy.
Yeah, I'm going to end it with a 5. Okay, so I'm going to give it a 5 because I think it had everything you wanted in the final film. You got the hero to go out with a bang, right? He saved his people. He saved his little son Cornelius. You're like, fine. You got the villain being an asshole, but he dies, and you're like, great. The whole overall journey from beginning to end and how it concludes, I think this is one of the best arcs. And then Andy Serkis, he should have won he should have won 2 Oscars, if you'd be asking me. I think between this movie and the last movie, I mean, his acting is flawless. And I would have even gave it to the chick that played Maurice. I would have gave her an Oscar or 2, or at least a nod for that, because it was great. Special effects is amazing. The music was outstanding. In this movie. The scenery was great. I mean, kudos to Matt Reeves, because, I mean, I have hope now watching these back-to-back films that the Batman movie is going to be really, I think this is going to, the Batman second film is going to elevate way better than what the first one gave you. I mean, but yeah, so with that said, 5 total points, what you got?
I got a total of 25.
Nice, perfect film.
Coming out swinging. First show, 25 out of 25. I got 23 and a half for me. 23 and a half. That's action and the villain with the 4.5. But very great. Very great.
Yeah, I give it a 24, just like the last one. The last one I think I gave it a perfect.
25, I think.
I think I gave it a perfect. Yeah. And it's funny, like, I like them all the same. Like, there's none that I will say is better than the other for me. I think they all great. Maybe I could say the first one is a little bit less because, Caesar's not as
I think so.
Caesar.
I think the first is the least of the 3.
But not as like, I don't want people to be like, least.
I'm not saying it's like 30 rungs down on the ladder, but it ain't as good as 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is the one where if you came up to me and said, my favorite one is War, or you said my favorite one is Dawn, I would agree with both of your picks. It wouldn't matter.
But I will say this though, if 2 and 3 never existed and it was only Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I'll be like, it's the best movie I ever seen. Yeah, I would be like, best one. But all right, so we gave it all stuff. Nate, what is coming up next?
Okay, so next episode we will have we will be joined by a guest. You might have heard of him. His name is Rob. He'll be back for the next show as well. And we're going to be doing remake month. And the first one on our list is the remake of a 1970s film. It's a little movie called Death Wish. So we're going to be doing that. And then the next franchise. Now we couldn't remember it on the live show, but I remember it now. The next franchise we start next week is a good one, Alex. This is a good one. Your boy, well, he's in 3 of them. Melly Gibson doing a little Mad Max. So we got some Mad Max, and then the Road Warrior, and then Beyond Thunderdome, and then a little Fury Road. So those are going to be the next 4 in the franchise month.
Wow, I haven't seen those in a while.
I got
the 4Ks of those, but I haven't seen them in a while.
Thank God you gave me the digitals because I have never seen 2 or 3. I've only seen 1 and Fury Road. So
really?
2 of them will be first time watches for me.
Nice. Okay.
Very excited.
I like that. All right, that's gonna be fun. I think part 2, I have a feeling we're gonna have fun with that one. Because that one I think to me, I hasn't seen it in a while, but to me, part 2 is the best one out of all the 3. I mean, I'm not saying because I like Fury Road a lot, but a lot of people consider that Mad Max. I was like, nah, my man Mel Gibson is Mad Max. I can't throw that with 3 films. Exactly. You can't. I mean, it is the same character for some reason, but
recast.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't do it. But anyway, with that said, you guys want to follow us? Huh?
I said I'm excited for it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Very post-apocalyptic. I like when we do those movies. We do one?
Real dusty.
We did a post-apocalyptic movie, right? With the hot chick that was a vampire in what was her name?
What? With the hot chick that was
she was the vampire. She was in Rise of the Vikings. She played the
Doomsday.
The daughter of Victor.
Doomsday.
I like that movie.
Yeah, that was a good film.
I like that movie. Yeah.
You're right. All right, so this is our first post-apocalyptic movie since Doomsday.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm laughing. Because we have not tackled Escape from New York yet.
Oh. Yes, we did.
So then this is the third.
Escape from New York. But Doomsday was after that, I think.
Yeah.
But I know in the future also we have Book of Eli with Denzel Washington, which is
I haven't seen
it's
that.
Also a Dusty movie. So
yeah.
I call these Dusty movies. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of Dusty movies. All right, with that said, if you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over to Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Nate is now doing live streams also over on Instagram every other Monday when we're not live on YouTube. So head over to Netflix Reviews on Instagram at 9 p.m. Eastern every other Monday. Him and his friends that did the podcast that I sent you guys to listen to join forces after all the years they have not podcasted. So, and again, you guys want to follow us for Action Movie Guys, head over to Instagram at Geeks and Flicks. Head over to official website, www.geeksandflicks.com. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Robert, thank you so much for joining us
for this episode. Having me. It was awesome.
There you go. Be awesome to each other and geek out.